Virgin Galactic, the moment you have been waiting for. But it does come with some warnings. And I gave you the warning this morning. As you can see, tonight I'm wearing the red jacket of warning with the gold tie of opportunity, but the red jacket of warning. Who's going to win tonight? Is it going to be Virgin Galactic or you, the shareholder? So far, it's Virgin Galactic 10, shareholder nil. Now, as you can see from my portfolio, I'm about to hit $1 million. We started with $5,000 and we're now up to $913,000. We're about to hit $1 million. The target was $1 million by the end of the decade, except we've done it literally 4 years ahead. I say that. We're not there yet. But tonight is about Virgin Galactic. But there's two stories here. There's Virgin Galactic and there's SpaceX. Now, SpaceX is draining the pot. You can see Virgin Galactic bouncing around. We've got our team on standby to bring you the latest news. We've got a latest special cheat sheet event from Sensei News. Sensei might even be able to call in if he can add any information for the call itself. The call comes up in 55 minutes, so please stand by for that. But it's going to be an explosive afternoon. I warned everybody this morning not to buy the pump yesterday. I told you that Archer Aviation was going down after yesterday's hyper-inflated drama, and I was right. I then also told you that Virgin Galactic was going down, all of which has happened. There is Archer Aviation. It's fallen off a cliff. It's all relative, because these are future stocks that always trade the same. And Virgin Galactic is doing the very opposite of what's happening with SpaceX. Why I'm up at $912,000, nearly 913. We could be at 1 million tonight. So let's get into into Virgin Galactic. It's a Virgin Galactic special. We're going to bring you the earnings call. We're going to have live phone-ins. We've got Sensei on the call, and we have a newsletter, cheat sheet, all of it here for you this afternoon. Remember what I've always said. Oh dear, oh dear. It's easy to make money. The hard part is to keep it. And the reason why I'm wearing the red jacket of warning, I have a big, big concern and a big worry on Virgin Galactic. And it's why I'm not in the stock right now. I made a lot of money from selling it, but I'm still not buying it. And my team are on standby to buy it, and they're not buying it. When I give you the news in a minute, it could scare you, okay? So stand by for that. But what I want to share with you is, have you given me the link to that? I'm just getting some information coming through. Is it, William, can you let me know what time I play that on? I'm just getting some information coming through to me now live on the show. Tell me what time I play that video. What number? Anyway, let's go back over to Virgin Galactic on the chart. I've got some information just in. Now, Virgin Galactic, let me check some numbers for you. We're going to keep our eye on a lot of things here now. So let me come back to here. It's a moving parts event, this one tonight. Nothing yet coming out of my terminal. So that isn't going to give me anything. Let me refresh this. We could drop tonight to under $2. Oh, great. I've been given some information. A big, big scare for Virgin Galactic. Yeah, no numbers there. So, oh, we're falling off a cliff. I did warn everyone of this tonight. There we go. We're down 5%. It is dropping like a stone. And the reason why it's dropping like a stone is because what I'm about to show you now. All right? So everyone, tap the like button. Share this out to your friends because we want everyone to know what is about to occur here tonight. And consider subscribing as well. All right? You will need to boost it. Yes. 7.5 second clip of just, right, okay. All right, I've got it. Stand by for Virgin Galactic. Before I bring it to you, I'm going to bring you this clip here. I can't play that. That's just a picture. Let me get that.
Anyone at SpaceX who wants to go to the moon or Mars will be able to go in the future. You have my word.
Right.
Anyone at SpaceX who wants to go to
Did
the
you
moon
hear that?
or Mars will be able to go in the future. You have my word.
I'll play this
Anyone
again.
at SpaceX who wants to go to the moon or Mars will be able to go in the future. You have my word.
Elon Musk.
Anyone at SpaceX who wants to go to the moon or Mars will be able to go in the future. You have my word.
And this is for free,
Anyone
by the way.
at SpaceX who wants to go to the moon or Mars will be able to go in the future. You have my word.
Okay, this is just been said by Elon Musk. He can go to you can go to the moon for free. Now then, think of that, of how that might affect Virgin Galactic. There's one thing that I've been saying for the longest time. It has taken too long for Virgin Galactic. The competition is everywhere. And Elon Musk is now saying he will take... Oh, here we go. I've got the numbers on Virgin Galactic. He will take you to the moon for free. Okay, that's what he's saying. The numbers are out. It is a beat on earnings, estimated to lose 64 cents, and they're losing 50. It is another beat. This is good news. Let me show you how that looks on the chart. Looks quite good, but it's all about the guidance. This is good. We are steadily, consistently beating on the market, but we have to wait to hear what they say. So let me now give you the full news on Virgin Galactic, and you can decide. Now, I cannot guess. I'm not going to guess. I'm only going to buy if the signal is there. So let me bring you our deep dive analysis on Virgin Galactic. We've just got this from our very own newsletter. Let's get straight into it. Tap the like button, folks, and let's share this out to everybody. Here we go. Right. Virgin Galactic special. I'm going to go over now to our big story from our newsletter. Here we go. So, Virgin Galactic, we are talking short squeeze tonight. This is the chance of a short squeeze, the targets, cash, the whole thing. Virgin Galactic is coming back up as we speak. The market seems to like it at the moment, but still it's not a buy for me just yet. I want to hear the call. The call will go live in 45 minutes. So let's get straight into it. Virgin Galactic reports second quarter results tonight after the close. We now know they've beaten on earnings. Good. It's a good start. But what are they going to say on the call? That's what we need. Sensei is already putting together the analysis for us. He could call in at any moment and update us before or during or after the call. Let's stand by for that. Wall Street expects almost no revenue and a loss of around 60 cents. And the market has already decided those numbers are beside the point. Tonight is about whether the new spaceship flies on schedule and how much cash is left to get there. SPCE stock has climbed 29% since the end of July, from $2.55 to $3.28. And the options market is pricing a move of roughly 15% in either direction tonight. I've got some wonderful images I want to share with you from our newsletter. Really, really nice images. Want to share these for you. We've been there. Zach, one of our investors, has been to Spaceport America. He's touched Eve. He's seen it. He's walked around the spaceport. It looks great. It does. But can it make money? Well, we've made some money from it, but is it time to buy back in tonight? We have to hear what they have to say, and then we can move quickly. But right now, all my money, 100%, is in SpaceX, because that is where all the institutions are buying, and I'm just inches away now from $1 million. Remember, we started with 5,000 live on the show, so I'm not going to guess, and I'm not going to gamble. So why is SPCE stock up going into the earnings? Well, it was, and then it sold off, We're bouncing around now. So let me bring you the numbers. Here we go. The stock is down again and falling hard and falling quickly. Nothing the company announced. That is the answer. And this is a concern because all day I've been sharing with you information that I've been getting, leaks that are coming out about institutions buying SpaceX, but nothing from Virgin Galactic. Is that good? Is that bad? We don't know. We can't guess. Tonight we'll find out. The stock goes down to 217 in March, and we're still only 247 on the 20th of May. It's still running down as we speak. Then it ran 204% in 8 sessions, closing at 752. You may remember we all made a lot of money on that, and I used that money to buy SpaceX. On the 1st of June, as a short squeeze took hold, it gave all of it back within a fortnight. That was not good. We got out, I said it was going to go back down, and it did, including a 32% fall in a single day when SpaceX listed that the traders using SPCE as a stand-in for space exposure moved to the real thing. This is what we said. It's a drain now. SpaceX is a giant black hole drawing the money away. So, can you buy this? Well, you decide. Since the 31st of July 31 in America, it has climbed from $2.55 to $3.28, with no press release behind it, just hype and speculation. And don't forget, no one is covering Virgin Galactic anymore. We're the only one. And that's not what you want. When everybody covering it, no one is paying attention to Virgin Galactic. Should they be? Does it mean there's an opportunity because no one is covering it? This is what you can decide. The stock is still moving down at the moment. I'm going to bring you our next image as we explain exactly what you're looking at. So, that is money positioning for good news before the news exists, which is the setup that punishes a boring report. If we don't get a great report, it's going down to below $2. And I cannot risk that. I know everybody would love me to buy and make a phone call to my 7 friends. We could buy the whole company, especially now I've got $1 million. In fact, with my margin, I could raise $2 million tonight. I could buy a big chunk of SpaceX and it would move. My concern and why I'm not going to do it is I think, or at least I'm not doing it yet, unless I hear anything on the call, is because the moment I do, there are others waiting to make me their exit. And I'm left holding the bag. And I don't gamble or guess or lose money, and neither do my Discordians. So here we go. 12 months of whipsaw. So what we're looking at right now is every SPCE closing price over the last 12 months. The 204% squeeze into the 1st of June. The 32% a one-day fall when SpaceX listed on June 12th, and $2.17 low in March, and 29% climb into tonight's report. All of this you can see in more detail on our newsletter. Now, if you want our newsletter, it's pinned to the top. Let's see if I can drop it in the chat. I've not been able to do this for a while because some services on YouTube aren't working. Oh, that one is working. Fantastic. Now I'm going to get excited pressing all the buttons. There's my X and there's my, oh, there we go. And there's my X and Instagram. Okay, lovely. We're viral right now on Instagram, by the way. We hit 10,000 followers last night. We've got 11,000 today. 1,000 in one day. We're now viral on Instagram. You might want to check out why. So anyway, let's carry on with our big story. So, Virgin Galactic financial health. Let's break it down for you of what it really means and the numbers that decide it. Thank you very much, B Mark, for your subscription. If you'd like to tap the like button and subscribe, we'd very much welcome you as a guest here today. It'd be lovely to have you. 40 minutes ago, before the call starts, I cannot buy until we hear from the call. Start with that. The last quarter looks like, because tonight is a variation on it. Revenue of $227 thousand, a net loss of 65 million. Free cash flow of minus 93 million. Cash and marketable securities of 251 million at the end of March, plus 52 million raised by selling new shares in April. The revenue line confuses people. The 227,000 is access fees charged for people who already hold tickets for staying in the future astronaut community. The ticket money itself is not revenue. Deposits from the roughly 650 seat holders sit on the balance sheet at a 78 million liability, as only convert to revenue when someone actually flies. In plain English, the company holds 78 million of other people's money that it has not yet earned. This is the big risk. All right, let me come back to the stock and see how it's moving as we deliver. Oh, it's tanking now. This is exactly what I warned everybody against. I pleaded with everybody, do not buy until you know. I told you what was going to happen, and I was right again. And look, SpaceX is still going up. We're now just inches away from $1 million live on the show, up 43 grand today. Remember what I always say, it's easy to make money, the hard part is to keep it. And we're trying to protect you from yourselves. We warned you that this was going to happen. I sold for a good reason. I went into SpaceX and I'm waiting for the signal. The signal is not there. If the signal comes, this could be a nice buying opportunity, but the signal is not there yet. Let's carry on. Management guided second quarter burn to 87 to 92 million. Run that against the March balance plus the April raise, and tonight's cash line should land near 213 million. The auditors can see the fuel gauge too. The last quarterly filing states there are conditions present in the aggregate that raise substantial doubt about the company's ability to continue as a going concern. In plain English, going bankrupt. Now remember, there's a big difference between the company paying itself and the shareholders. The company have paid themselves exorbitant fees for 15 years. They've all done very well. They've had a nice time on your money. However, can you make money from this? Well, you can if you trade it as we have done. But right now, again, I'm showing you as it's happening live, money is flowing into SpaceX. All money is going into SpaceX, which is why I'm about to hit $1 million live on the show. I don't know if it's going to happen tonight, but by the 20th of August, I think it will. Anyway, 4 years ahead of schedule. So back to the report. Let's keep watching Virgin Galactic as it keeps going down. 9% now. This could be under $2 tonight, $1.90. It's easy to get there. Very, very easy to get there. Right, let's carry on. If you've just tuned in, if you can, tap the like button. Share this out to more people. We're trying to help as many people as possible. If you want to join our Discord and be part of what we do, we always win. We always beat the market. 4 years in a row. This year, I'm up 54% year to date. I've beaten the market for 4 years. If you want to join us, we'll teach you how to do it. It's easy to make money. The hard part is to keep it. So, the gap gets filled by printing shares. The count was 100.7 million on the 7th of May against, let me get rid of that, against a weighted average of 79.5 million in the first quarter. And it moves one way until revenue flights begin. The kind of half of the picture, the quarterly loss is 23%, smaller than a year ago. Burn is guided to improve through the year, and the money is buying finished hardware. Let me share with you another wonderful diagram and chart which you can use. If you get the newsletter, you can see all of this, and let me explain exactly what you are looking at right now. Here we go. So let me come back over to there. And what we're looking at here is implied cash. Oops, I'm on the wrong screen. I beg your pardon. That's where you want to be. And it will be there in a second. Take your time. Oh, whenever you're ready. Oh, there we go. We've got an error. Let me come back. It happens sometimes. And there we go. All right. So implied cash of 213 million measured in quarters of burn, with the remaining 87 million of shares sale capacity. Shown as an extension and the Q4 first spaceflight target marked. So again, if you got the newsletter, you get this every single day. We bring out cheat sheets for the FOMC report, the earnings calls. We bring out the inflation report information, how to trade, how to always win. All right. Okay, I'm getting some breaking news. We've got some updates on the report already. Sensei is sending me some information. Yeah. Right. Thank you, Sensei. We just got latest news just out. Okay. Right. Let me just refresh this. We've just analyzed the numbers. So we're going to bring you a new story. We're updating it as it happens. Let me just give you the story. This is a changing situation. Right. Okay. Thank you, Sensei. We're bringing it you as it happens. All right. Update. The results are out. What they actually mean. Thank you, Sensei. This is terrific news from our very own award-winning newsletter. Keep your eye on the stock and we'll explain the chart to you as well. I've got a nice chart here. Oh, dear me. Oh, I see. Now I can see why the stock has dropped. Oh, it's going to tank now. We're going to go down way below $2. Okay, if I could scream at the screen, it would be get the hell out of there. All right, but I'm not giving you that advice. You do what you want to do. We're going down. We've got the worst possible news. The worst possible news for Virgin Galactic. This could go under $2 tonight, which puts it in the bankruptcy zone. The worst possible news for Virgin Galactic. This is what I was warning you about. This is why I said don't buy the pump. I told you where the money was going. More money will go into SpaceX now as an exit plan of this. Let me bring to you what I've just learned from Sensei, but this is the worst type of news. Here we go. This is what we warned about. Update, the results are out. Virgin Galactic released second quarter results just after the close. The earnings call starts. We know that. We're going to cover it live. Okay, we got all that. The space flight has slipped from the fourth quarter of 26. The space flight has slipped from the fourth quarter of 26 to February 2027. The market will punish this. It's waited 15 years and we've pushed out till February of 2027. As far as the market is concerned, that is enough to take this down into a bankruptcy era. We're now 296. We've dropped 11%. Remember, they're making money for themselves, but are they making money for you? They will need to dilute. We could have a massive cash drain now. This was the problem that I said, if we get this, it could go bankrupt, and I cannot buy it with this news looming and hanging over my head. That is what I said, and worst possible outcome has been delivered. The first space flight has slipped from the fourth quarter of 2026. We were expecting it this year to February 2027. It might as well be in 10 years as far as the market is concerned. The market will punish this. This will be down now 30-40%, and that could make it impossible to raise future funds. Flight testing now begins in October with a captive carry flight, so the third quarter target went with it. Michael Cole-Glazier put the delay down to allowing additional time to complete avionics and systems. This will not go down well with the investors. This is the worst possible news we could have brought you here tonight. The dates have moved. Let me explain to you. Look at the stock go. This is why I was out, why I was protecting my money, and what I feared would be the worst type of news. So, what we're seeing here, what Virgin Galactic guided in May against what it confirmed tonight. Massive delays. Now, you might say, it's only a couple of quarters. It's too much. It's not going to go down well with the investor. It's a big move. All right. So I know some people will go, it's no big deal, Martyn. Don't freak out. I'm not freaking out. I always make money. I always win. My Discordians always win. This is what we were warning about. Is now come about. All right. It's come about. And we could be down 50%. Look, as it goes, we're down now 13%, 14%. Is it too late to get out? Well, not really, because I think it's going to be $1.80, $1.50. Then we've got bankruptcy back on the table. So if you were asking me what I would do now, I would be out. If I was in it, I'd be taking my money because I know it's going to go down another 50%. That's what I'd be doing. All right. The shorters will be all over it. You won't survive it. All right. But that's not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do. That's what I would do. But of course, what I would do is what I did do. I wouldn't be in because of this potential issue. This is what the company do time and time again. We're down 15% now. It's dropping like a stone. The accounts landed better than the date, and a net loss of 56 million, down from 65 million last quarter, a loss of 50 cents a share against 60 cents consensus. That was good. We expected that though, but delays was the big problem. Free cash flow of minus 91 million inside of the guiding range. That was okay as well, with third quarter burn guided at minus 95 to $100 million. Cash and marketable securities stand at 286 million at the end of June. The company pulled 134 million gross from its share sale program during the quarter, basically dilution, and has now substantially completed it. More dilution, more runway. Yes, but the market will punish this. Now, you could look at it as a buying opportunity. This could be your chance to get in. It's not at the end of the space program. It's another delay. However, 15 years, people can buy SpaceX and make their money. And that's the way they'll look at it. And every time I speak to the biggest retail investors in the world on Virgin Galactic, they say, Martyn, I'm just buying SpaceX. I don't need the headache. It's taken too long. And now Elon Musk is taking people to the moon for free. How the hell does Virgin Galactic survive now? Cash and marketable securities stand at 286 million at the end of June. The company pulled, I've already read that, I beg your pardon. Tickets demand is the real positive. This is the one big story. We've spoke about it. The 750,000 tranche oversubscribed and booked out ahead of schedule, adding more than 50 million of expected future revenue, with a higher priced tranche planned for the autumn. So the date slipped, the balance sheet got stronger, and the seats are selling. So this is a positive if you don't mind the share price going down 30, 40, 50%. It might actually be a buying opportunity. All right? That is how you need to address it. You decide which side of the camp you are on. I am in the side of the camp that Virgin Galactic has let itself down by delays. It's had 15 years to get this right. The investor is tired of it. And the trouble is now there's an alternative that is making money. And that is SpaceX. That's why I took my profit from Virgin Galactic and bought SpaceX. Now, tonight is a buying opportunity if you've got balls of steel. However, if they delay again, and they've done it over and over and over again, it's zero. There is no more delays. This was the delay they could afford. They've used it. Like when they diluted the stock before, they didn't need to have done that. They could have promoted it and got it up, but they decided not to. This, again, is a demonstration of what can go wrong very, very quickly. So Virgin Galactic reports second quarter results in about 25 minutes now with the quarter earnings. That's the time they're covering it. Thank you, Sensei. Blah, 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 blah. Tonight is about whether the new spaceship flies on schedule and how much cash is left to get there. Space. Oh, and we've already read all that. So I've covered the news. There's no need for me to go over anything else. We are now repeating ourselves. We don't want to do that. So let me come back out of there. Go back to the stock. That's the story. And thank you, Sensei, for sharing that with me. But yeah, this is a big, 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 big headache now for Virgin Galactic. Let's have a closer look at it. Here we go. Now then, Sensei is on standby. If anybody wants Sensei to call in, show some love in the chat, super chats, and Sensei will give you his opinion. Now we've got people. We got people saying this. This is the trouble, right? Calm down. It's lost a week's growth. Soon be back up. That is not what we need. Okay? One of our members, I appreciate it, but that is hopery. This is the warning I warned against. You can sit there and say it's okay, it's great. It's not great. They was not supposed to delay tonight. They told us on the last call they would not delay. They've delayed for 15 years. Now, I am the most bullish of all investors in Virgin Galactic. I have said time and time again, it could go to $100. But don't tell people in the chat, it's okay, it's only a week's growth. That is utter nonsense, because now you are down nearly 20%. If you were out like I suggested, you could be buying it here rather than losing here. So it's not good to say to people, it's okay, it's not a problem, it's great. It's not great. It's the worst possible news. This is the event that is one step away now from bankruptcy. They can have no more delays. Now, in a few minutes' time, I will have the deck on board with Virgin Galactic. Right now, they're presenting me this. It shows me nothing. Quarter to the hour, in just 8 minutes' time, this will turn to their presentation and we'll have it. Now, we need to hear the tone of Michael Cole-Glazier. He will need to reassure the investors of no dilution, because if you have dilution down here, everyone's out, right? Everybody's out. And if he doesn't give you 100% confidence in that we are going to see it go up, everybody will be out. Now then, you can look at that as a buying opportunity if you like, but I don't look at investing like that. I'm not a gambler or a guesser. That's why I always beat the market, and I always do. Let's remind ourselves of those statements. So if we look at the S&P 500, for 4 or 5 years, we've beaten the market. Here is my position. There is the S&P 500. It is up 12.5% year to date. Rubbish. What have I done year to date? And I've done the same thing for 4 and 5 years. Year to date, 56%. 55.79. So we round that to 56%. I think we can all agree I seem to know what I'm talking about, right? I've spoken directly with Virgin Galactic many times. I've done interviews with Bloomberg TV about Virgin Galactic twice. I know what I'm talking about. We've been to the spaceport. We've studied the numbers. We have 7 of the biggest whales in the retail space. Together, we could buy the entire company. And if we had reason to do it, we would do it. And I was looking for an excuse to buy it. I didn't see one. And now we've got another delay. This company have done nothing but delay. So again, people yesterday didn't like my report about Archer Aviation. I told you it was going down. I told you the whole thing was manipulated in stock. What happened? It collapsed today. And everyone yesterday who bought with margin is left holding the bag. I told you SpaceX would go up, and I told you what institutions would be buying it at 3 o'clock this morning ahead of time, and they did. and I was right, and it short squeezed and it was up. We're not here to guess. We're not here to make friends. We make friends by winning and respecting people's time, not by selling videos and not by selling hope. This was the big message we warned about that has come true. It's hardly tanking, Martyn. You see what I mean? People have hope beyond hope. This guy here said, it's hardly tanking, Martyn. Zoom out. It's a couple of dollars a stock. It's a gamble. What utter nonsense. You cannot look at it as it's only a couple of bucks a share. That is the most ridiculous, unqualified statement. You know nothing about investing if you are talking about it's only a couple of bucks. People have said to me, I'm not buying SpaceX because it's $100 odd, but I will buy Virgin Galactic. If my business was worth $100,000 and I had one share, my business would have a share of $100,000. If I had 100,000 shares, each one would be worth $1. Which one is cheaper? They're exactly the same. This sort of comment from non-members is the evidence that people will guess and gamble. We do not guess. We do not gamble. We always beat the market. We always get it done. To say losing 15% after hours is acceptable is ridiculous, because we are down now 99.5% from the IPO price. That is not acceptable. Tony goes, it's fine, Martyn. It's only a couple of bucks. It's just a gamble. If I buy Virgin Galactic right now, I would buy with $1 million. How much are you going to put in? $10? I would put in $1 million. And my friends would put in $1 million. And we're not going to do it because it's been delayed again. So this comment is utter nonsense. Folks, don't pay attention to it. Commercial space flight. Service delayed until February. Yes, 1970 Berkeley. When it flies, so will the stock. TV coverage and Branson wheeled out. No, Mark Spence, that doesn't happen anymore. It doesn't get any coverage anymore. I know better than anyone about that. I've even worked for Sir Richard Branson. He doesn't get behind this anymore. And now we got SpaceX, Elon Musk saying he will take people to the moon for free. Tesla looks like it's had too tiny. The big dogs are singing world free speech. SPCE versus SPCX. There will be many delays and negative news. That's what makes it volatile. It's a future punt. Well, maybe for you, because you like gambling. Gamblers always lose. We are investors. It's called Martyn Lucas Investor, and we have beaten the market 4 years on a row. Right? And we've taken our portfolio from $5,000 to just under $1 million live on the show. But yet you're telling me the way to go is to gamble. Utter nonsense. Please, folks, this is a non-member. Do not listen to rubbish. Kimberly.
I can't believe this.
Elon didn't say everyone free. He said those who work at SpaceX will go to free. Go for free. That is correct. How many of those do you think there are? Tens of thousands. So enough people are going for free. Don't try and twist that round. I'm trying to protect my audience. Non-members, this is not for you. This is for the real investors. Only SpaceX employees, that's right. That is right. It doesn't matter. It's the sentiment of what it demonstrates. Damn, I went all in with $20. Okay, I can't. What do you mean you went all in with $20? I don't have after hours trading. Yes, you do. Yes, you do, Housey. There is after hours trading. If you want to trade, we've got lots of members coming in tonight. If you want after hours trading, I will give it to you now. And I will give you free stocks right here, right now. And I am not sponsored by Robinhood to say this. So if you want to trade after hours right now on Virgin Galactic and SpaceX overnight, 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, here is in the chat, Robinhood referral. You get free shares as well. I get free shares. I'm not sponsored by them. That's Robinhood USA. What about those in the UK? Same thing. Robinhood UK, you get free shares. I get free shares. I've dropped it in the chat for you right there. Okay. Take advantage. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm sharing you what I use. I know it works, and you can trade 24/7 on SpaceX, and you can trade after hours on Virgin Galactic. I want to take money. Fly, please. Fly. I want to make money. Fly, please, fly. I'm sure you do. Buckley told us that a few minutes ago. LOL, indeed I did. He knows we all are stockholders. So he's trying to scare us all to sell. Oh my God. So he can buy it. Oh my God, buy again. All right. Zingred, you are absolutely talking bloody rubbish. I might have, between me and my friends, about $50 million to buy this stock. If we decide to buy it now, the stock goes up 200% right now. We're not doing it. And we could do it right now. I've got $1.5 million just on my own. We could do that right now, but I'm not doing it. I'm not asking you to sell it or get rid of it. I'm asking no one to do anything. And I can't make this stock go down. I don't even short stock. I've never shorted stock. So I'm not trying to get everyone to sell so I can buy down. All of my money is 100% in SpaceX. So you are talking absolutely rubbish, and all of my members know it. So no one is paying any attention to nonsense. There she goes. Buckley, one step ahead of everyone. Oh, hang on. There she goes. We're going down again. It's dropping like a stone once again. Thanks for covering all the hard work. Thank you, mate. And thank you very much.
Chat. Thanks for covering and all the hard work, Martyn and Sensei.
You're very welcome. So we've got the idiots in the channel telling everybody, oh, it's great. We don't mind being down 20%. That's up to you, right? But we don't do stuff like that. We're investors. We don't gamble. Let's have a look. Just sold with a 10% profit. Congratulations, one of my members. So there you go. We're encouraging people to win, not to lose. And I'm not trying to buy back your shares from you. You've just won. Our members always win. Space will be driven into the ground. It could certainly go to zero. The chance of it going to zero tonight have increased astronomically. Volatility warns on reverse. I'm not sure I know what you mean. Congratulations, nice profit. Yeah, all members win here. In fact, I did warn you this morning this would drop, and if you wanted to sort of say, what was the best thing to do, it was take it way before this. Anyway, let's have a little look. Management, or let's call it what it is. Mismanagement. It is mismanagement. We've called it on before. Seats to a no-show. They all need to go. Right, we've got the deck coming up on Virgin Galactic. We're going to go live there in 10 minutes. Space Dock, I'd rather keep my feet on the ground. Good for making money. Have they shown the picture of the spaceship? Have they shown the picture of the spaceship? The earnings call hasn't started yet. It's going down now quicker. Here it goes faster and faster. Some of our non-members think it's great and they like losing all their money. Calm down. It's a lost week's growth. Calm down. I've got $1 million invested. I bet you've got nothing. All right? No, we don't calm down. We win here on this show. 15 years. And what do they have to show for it? Absolutely nothing. 255. I will look to buy. There we go. Sensei, he's looking to buy at $2.55. Not a penny more. There you go. That's from our analyst. All right. Menorca. She's talking to high energy. I have a short. There we go. We've got people now shorting the stock as well. DJ Lee, SPCE needs to branch out more than they offer. Like I said, this week will be huge. Crypto the Savage, same Petra. Evening Sensei. Good morning, good afternoon, Mark Saxby. It's going lower. I can see it going to $1.80 now. Martin, am I thinking to buy your bronze or gold option? What can we give me, please, what's the difference between these two, bronze or gold? Well, if you are a bronze member, it's our entry level. You will get a membership that will never go up in price ever. In fact, we have won the award from YouTube 5 years in a row, never increased it. You can call into the show. If we are in members only mode, which we're not right now, you can talk to me like I'm talking to you now. But we are in general mode. I'm going to go members only in a minute because we're getting too busy. So there's members only videos, loads that you can now see, members only live streams. You can call into the show. You can be on the show. I can give you a video call in link and you can be on the show. You can comment to a video and I answer all questions. You can comment to a live stream after the event and I answer all members' comments. I'll also engage you on social media. I am now viral on Instagram. I've got 10,000 followers. In fact, now we're 11,000. We'll be 12,000 by tomorrow. We're gaining 1,000 followers a day on Instagram. I will help you grow on there and give you behind the scenes stuff. If you are a gold member, you get all of those perks, plus you get a guarantee of no price increase ever. You get all of my trades 24/7. I share all my trades in the community tab on YouTube, and you will see when I'm buying, who I'm speaking to, and I've been beating the market for 4 years in a row, 30, 40, and 54% this year. But also, gold includes a 1 hour private video call with me every month. There we go. Right.
At Arik_3 tip $2 through Super Chat. Martyn, do you have a buy target for SPCE or no?
Well, with the current delay just been slapped on us, no more than $1.80. Really, it could. The likelihood of going bankrupt now has gone up exponentially.
Uncle Alert.
Yeah, Elon needs to buy space. He doesn't need to. He's now going to fly people to the moon for free. Guys, do not chase SpaceX. There will be another trade. Absolutely. You should not be chasing SpaceX at all. I bought at the bottom and I'm up and I'm just about to hit $1 million. This is my portfolio. 907,000. Thank you, Martyn. Thank you, Donda. Always winning, mate. Always. We told you that XRP would hit 80 cents as well.
At Dondax tipped $5 through Super Chat. Thank you, Martyn and team, for the great information and analysis.
Always delivering. We turn down sponsorships every day. We tell you the truth. We always win and we always get it done. Always. So Elon needs to buy space. He wouldn't buy this. There's no point. Bert Rutten won the X Prize with his design. He's got to be ripping his hair out. Yes, Mark Cuban, one of the whales. Cannot stand the way this knob speaks. Well, that's nice. No problem at all. I can't
believe this.
I allowed you to swear at me on the screen. So well done. You get one go. I wanted to expose that. Can we now ban that person? If you don't want to, there we go. You're already gone. And we are banning you permanently from the server. They are gone. Congratulations. You were able to swear at me once and you are now done. You are a bloody idiot. You've got no money. You want to lose your money and all you're doing is swearing. So goodbye. You are the weakest link. Just trying to get Martyn out of his funk. I'm not in a funk. I'm about to hit $1 million. I couldn't be more happy today because me and my Discordians are always winning. We warned not to buy this on the pump today. We've got more members being gifted from Rob and down goes Virgin Galactic. Even more afternoon Zachzite. Here it is. Bruh. Don't know what that means. Thanks for the membership. You are welcome. That wasn't from me. That was from one of our members, one of our whales, who will tell you. In fact, for the benefit of the idiots who want to swear at me today and happily lose all their money, I'm going to ask everyone to fact check me. So, live in the chat right now, have I beaten the market for three and 4 years in a row? Have I shared every trade? This year I've beaten the market by 54%. Do we have an award-winning newsletter? Have we got the accredited tick from YouTube, best practices? Have we held our memberships at the same price for 4 and 5 years? Our Discord is over-allocated. You can't even get a seat on it now. We've got 1,000 members, pro investors, and we've beaten the market, and all of my targets have been spot on. If every single one of those claims is true, write yes in the chat, just to annoy the hell out of the idiots who just want to make asses of themselves. So please go ahead and do that. Yes or no. If one of those wasn't true, say no. I'm hearing time to buy. I can see where you're coming from because things look better on the balance sheet, but the delay is being punished. Now, I expect to see Virgin Galactic drop to 180. So you can buy at 280. Hey, if it goes to 20 bucks, who the hell cares? However, what if they delay again? And if they delay again, they're bankrupt. No ifs, ands, or buts. No questions or maybes. No, well, Martyn, you're being a bit unfair. 100% that is what happens. All right? Now, we know the seats are fully booked. We know everything is good, but the delay is not acceptable to the investor. As you can see, it's being punished tonight. Here is the earnings call. The earnings call is seconds away. Where we've got 5 minutes. I will cover it live when it starts. I'll be quiet and we'll listen in. Let me get through all the comments. Here we go.
At Bigger Yorkshire tipped £1.99 through Super Chat. Yes, Marty.
Yes. Everybody's putting yes in the chat. We're not here for your bro nonsense. We're not here to join your fan club. We're here because we are family men and women and we're trying to win and make money for our families. Not sit in our mum's bedroom and guess and gamble and always lose. We always win.
At RV Capitalist tipped $1.99 through Super Chat. The proof is in the Discordians, beating VU 3x.
There you go. The S&P 500, 3x. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. All of those that are in the chat trying to make themselves look like arses. Let the audience speak for themselves. I don't need to say a word. Let's go members only and get rid of the idiots.
At _3 tipped $2 through Super Chat. Yes, 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 yes.
Let them lose all their money. If they want to lose all their money and join a fan club and sit in Reddit, they're very, very welcome. Here on this channel, we choose to win, and we always get it done. I'm going to members only as we go into the earnings call. Nobody, I mean, I've got about 50 million on the line here to buy with me and my team, not the viewers, the 7 guys and ladies that I talk to. We are sitting here. I've got my phone at the side of me in WhatsApp, waiting to see if we are going to buy. Now, if we decide tonight to buy, $50 million will go into Virgin Galactic tonight. If we hear confidence from Michael Cole-Glazier that we are without doubt on track and everything is as it is, and he can convince me and 7 of my friends, we will put $50 million. I've got 1.5 in SpaceX available. But you've got to convince me, all right? I've got my margin, and I've got 907. So I've got $1.5 million. Together, we've got about 50 million. We can buy best part of the company, right? So if we get a good sentiment from Michael Cole-Glazier, I can do it. But I don't think we're going to get it. We'll see. I'm open. I'm ready. You might see me do it. And if we do buy it, it's going up 200%. Definitely. But I'd rather buy it at $10 and get the same 200% profit, knowing it's not going bankrupt, than to guess. Because when you've got $1.5 million, you don't gamble. There's people in here saying, our non-members saying, yes, it's worth a punt. Yes, it's worth gambling. We'll go to the casino. You've got more chance of winning. That's not what we do. Right. Here we go. So now we're going to line up the deck and let's bring you Virgin Galactic earnings. This is going to be exciting. Here we go. Right. I've got it ready to go. I'm listening in. Stand by for Virgin Galactic earnings, second quarter 2026. What me and my team are listening out for is a good, solid reason to buy, not to pay their wages. They've had it for 15 years. Michael Cole-Glazier, Eric Kearney have taken so much money from themselves, it's unbelievable. What about us? What about the investor? All right.
I can't believe this.
New member.
1210X has become a member.
Another new member. Thank you. Virgin Galactic bouncing back. Oops. I don't believe I wasn't muted there. Sorry about that. I should have been muted. Okay, stand by. Expect it to be 1 minute or 2 minutes behind. It's something I've never understood, why big public companies are always late for their own earnings calls. Never understood that, but it seems to be the way these things are. Stand by.
At Arik_3 tip $2 through Super Chat. Buy an own it then partner with Elon. Lol.
We could put 50 million into this now, but we need to see a sign. I don't know if we're going to see it. Stand by. Right, we've gone past the hour. Like I said, they are late. I don't know why these people are always late. Not just Virgin Galactic, everybody. So anyway, let's see what happens. Stand by. Virgin Galactic earnings is seconds away. Here we go. We're just waiting. I'm hearing the music. Stand by. Virgin Galactic earnings. We're now 30 seconds late. Space flight expeditions are currently fully booked. Yes, they're advertising that. We know that. But remember, that doesn't make its way to the balance sheet yet. Here we go.
Good afternoon. My name is Desiree. I will be your conference operator today. At this time, I would like to welcome everyone to Virgin Galactic's second quarter 2026 earnings conference call. All lines have been placed on mute to prevent any background noise. After the speaker's remarks, there will be a question and answer session. If you would like to ask a question during this time, simply press star followed by the number 1 on your telephone keypad. If you would like to withdraw your question, press star 1 again. Thank you. I will now turn the call over to Ken Michaels, Vice President, Finance. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Virgin Galactic's second quarter 2026 earnings conference call. On the call with me today are Michael Koglazier, Chief Executive Officer, and Doug Ahrens, Chief Financial Officer. Following our prepared remarks, we will open the call for questions. Our press release and slide presentation that will accompany today's remarks are available on our investor relations website. Please refer to slide 2 of the presentation for our safe harbor disclaimer. During today's call, we may make certain forward-looking statements. These statements are based on current expectations and assumptions and, as a result, are subject to risks and uncertainties. Many factors could cause actual events to differ materially from the forward-looking statements made on this call. For more information about these risks and uncertainties, please refer to the risk factors in the company's SEC filings made from time to time. You are cautioned not to put undue reliance on forward-looking statements, and the company specifically disclaims any obligation to update the forward-looking statements that may be discussed during this call, whether a result of new information, future events, or otherwise. Please also note that we will refer to certain non-GAAP financial information on today's call. Please refer to our earnings release for a reconciliation of these non-GAAP financial metrics. I would now like to turn the call over to our CEO, Michael Koglazier, who will begin our discussion on slide 3.
I'm pleased to share our recent tranche of spaceflight expeditions has booked out ahead of schedule, demonstrating strong demand from a wide range of customer segments. The allotment we had held at the $750,000 price point was oversubscribed, and we have added over $50 million to our expected future spaceflight revenue. We've moved our first commercial spaceflight to this coming February to allow additional time to complete avionics and systems installations. No single issues driving the schedule push. Rather, we have experienced modest time duration extensions across hundreds of relatively small but important installation tasks involved in the first build of our new spaceship. Our teams bring disciplined urgency to their efforts, and they have made outstanding progress on both our first ship and the ship sets that are following. This progress required more time than we expected ahead of our integrated vehicle ground testing, but it was needed to complete the work with the thoroughness and precision we demand. This work is wrapping up in the next couple of weeks, and we expect to begin integrated vehicle ground testing later this month. We've incorporated the learnings from this first build into the schedule forecast for our second ship, which we now expect will join the fleet in New Mexico in March.
I can't believe this!
That schedule continues to support the cadence of flight rate that we shared last quarter, and we maintain our projections to deliver positive quarterly cash flow within 2027.
Sounding good so far?
I'll share some insight on the sales process and the additions we've made to our astronaut community, followed by some detail into the build process for our first spaceship, our static test ship, and our second spaceship. I'll then pass it over to Doug for our financial discussion and further context into the unit profitability of our spaceships.
Important.
Turning to page 4 in the slide deck. We now have over 700 members within the Virgin
I'm looking
Galactic
for an excuse to
astronaut
buy
community,
this, folks.
and we're very pleased to welcome our most recent arrivals. This new group, like those who have been in our community for a while, are passionate about space. As a cohort, they represent a diverse range of organizations and individuals who broaden our target market. One new trend we are seeing is an increase in multi-seat bookings. Approximately 60% of this new cohort is part of a group of some form or another, ranging from multi-generation expeditions of all sorts, to research missions, to corporate charters and nonprofit bookings. Many are adventurers, but most are joining the community for the deep, transformative experience that is enabled with our space flights. Many of our new arrivals see space as a platform for broader initiatives, including science-based and nonprofit endeavors. Consistent with our prior statements, we have now closed active bookings as we onboard our new astronauts and engage them in the community. We have retired the $750,000 price point, and we plan to open a new tranche of spaceflight expeditions this fall at higher price points.
Good.
Moving to page 5 to discuss spaceship progress. I'll start this section with one of the many fun facts around our spaceships. We have over 12 miles of wire running between the various computers, systems, and sensors throughout the entire ship. Every one of those wires is designed, fabricated, bundled, and connected with detailed precision. And the image on this page gives you a glimpse into the complexity of installation within the unique configuration of our spaceship. The progress our team has been making is incredible, and they are doing their work with thoroughness, precision, and quality. As I mentioned at the outset, many of the hundreds of preparation and installation tasks have required more time to complete than we had estimated. We will always take the time that's needed, and that has caused us to move our first spaceflight expectation to February. We take the time needed for on-ship work and related engineering and quality assurance processes. We also have added resources and improved process management to minimize the overall time impacts. We're operating with 2 shifts, 7 days a week, and I'm very proud of and grateful for the massive joint effort of our team and the extended workforce we have brought in from California, New Mexico, Bell Textron, and partner agencies to complete the effort. These added investments will show up as incremental spending in Q3 and to a lesser degree in Q4, but these added expenses bring high return by helping us maintain our expected flight cadence in 2027. On page 6, we're highlighting progress with our static test ship, which we use to verify our as-built structural configurations. The image on the upper left shows the wing assembly, and the images on the lower left show the fuselage structure in process of assembly. These will be joined together and shipped to the Southwest Research Institute for structural testing. Our feather assembly, shown in the image on the right, is already at the Southwest Research Institute and is being wired for testing, which will start in early September. As soon as the static test wing and fuselage are joined and shipped, we will pivot our manufacturing team to begin assembly of the second spaceship. So let's turn to page 7. These images show major parts of our second spaceship as they move through the production and assembly process. The image on the left shows a wing skin, the image on the top right shows a cabin skin being fabricated, and the image on the bottom right shows our nearly completed feather assembly. It's exciting to see multiple spaceships being built at the same time. With that, I'll turn the call over to Doug, starting on slide 8.
Thanks, Michael. Good afternoon, everyone. We are very excited about the upcoming start of commercial service, which is fast approaching. Ahead of this transition, we've strengthened the balance sheet. We have our sights set on growth. Starting with our balance sheet, during the second quarter, we raised $134 million through our current ATM, or at-the-market equity offering program, which is now substantially complete. We ended the second quarter with $286 million of cash, cash equivalents, and marketable securities, up from $251 million at the end of the prior quarter. Also, during the second quarter, we reduced the principal balance on our 2027 and 2028 notes by $93 million and further aligned the timing of future payments with the expected ramp in our spaceflight operations. Specifically, we now have just $17.9 million in principal payments remaining for the 2027 notes. The 2028 notes have no required principal payments due until March 2028. With a higher cash balance and reduced debt obligations, we are ready to launch the exciting growth phase of our business. Next, we'll do a quick recap of our financial results for the second quarter. Please turn to slide 9. Operating expenses were $65 million compared to $70 million in the prior year period. Capital expenditures were $41 million, down from $58 million in the prior year period, reflecting lower capital requirements overall as we progress through manufacturing our spaceships. Free cash flow was negative $91 million, a 20% improvement compared to the prior year period. Let's move to our projections on slide 10. Revenue for the third quarter of 2026 is expected to be approximately $400,000 for future astronaut access fees and events. While quarterly capital
Me and my team are deciding whether to buy this or not.
Since last year, given the recent increased time and labor to complete the systems installations for the first spaceship, we now expect to see a temporary increase in capital expenditures in the third quarter. Therefore, free cash flow for the third quarter of 2026 is expected to be in the range of negative $95 million to $100 million. While this represents a quarterly uptick in CapEx for this specific scope of work, we are very proud of the teams that are tirelessly and very skillfully building our spaceships. The work must be done with meticulous attention to detail, and these assets are being prepared to provide extraordinary experiences to our customers with the goal of also providing extraordinary returns to our shareholders. More on these expected returns from our spaceships in a minute. We forecast a downward trend in capital expenditures to resume in the fourth quarter of 2026. We expect a corresponding improvement in free cash flow, which is projected to be in the range of negative $80 million to $90 million. Revenue recognition for space flights is now expected to begin with the start of commercial spaceflight operations in February 2027. Furthermore, with the start of commercial spaceflight operations, we expect to begin receiving cash inflows from customers ahead of their spaceflights. These inflows represent the remainder of the purchase price for each spaceflight expedition, which is to be collected in connection with the customers signing the conditions of carriage prior to their spaceflight. With our second spaceship entering service, we continue to forecast that we will achieve a flight rate of 10 or more space flights per month by the end of the second quarter of 2027. This flight rate is an unprecedented achievement in human spaceflight, and this is made possible with our highly reusable spaceship design. Given these flight rate expectations, we continue to forecast quarterly positive cash flow within 2027, followed by rapid growth in revenue and adjusted EBITDA as we manifest our more recent and higher-priced spaceflight expeditions. Let's turn to page 11 and circle back to the economic returns we project with each new spaceship. Our practical experience flying our first spaceship Unity and our design and manufacturing refinements in our new spaceships have yielded an elegant, purpose-built vehicle optimized for both repeatable production and repeatable operation. It's a beautiful machine with vast potential. And now we are approaching the moment when we bring it all together with the ramp of commercial spaceflight operations. Let's do some quick math on what to expect in terms of unit economics for each spaceship. We've already created and refined the design for our spaceship, and we have invested in the tooling and manufacturing capability to make copies of that design. Our projections have stayed consistent. We expect each new spaceship to cost approximately $60 million to produce. Given a conservative lifetime estimate of 500 flights per spaceship, with 6 astronauts per spaceflight, average pricing of $600,000 per spaceflight expedition, and a contribution margin over 80% per spaceflight, each new spaceship has the potential to generate over $1.4 billion of lifetime contribution margin. In addition to turning the dream of human spaceflight into reality, it's clear that these financial returns are also expected to be spectacular. These exceptional unit economics for our vehicles are what drive the economic model shown on slide 12. We've shown this model before, and it highlights the tremendous economies of scale that can be achieved as we build and operate multiple spaceships and expand to multiple spaceports. To reiterate the model, with our first 2 spaceships in service, we expect to achieve the economics shown in the first column by the time the average price reaches $600,000 for each spaceflight expedition flown. Therefore, as higher prices flow through the flight manifests, we expect to achieve adjusted EBITDA during a quarter within 2028 that will result in an annualized adjusted EBITDA of $100 million, as shown in the first column of this page. As we noted at the start of today's call, we are pleased to report that we were oversubscribed for the recent tranche of spaceflight expeditions priced at $750,000. This strong demand indication, combined with the economies of scale from expanding our fleet, will what make the tremendous economic return shown on this page possible. As we continue to add spaceships and launch vehicles to the fleet, we can move to the right on this page, and we see the potential flow-through of profit that we expect to achieve as we expand. While there is a variable cost component for each flight, much of our corporate cost structure does not need to grow materially as we increase the number of flights. Specifically, as we fully utilize one spaceport by doubling the size of our fleet from 2 spaceships to 4 and adding a launch vehicle, we project that adjusted EBITDA will more than quadruple to over $450 million per year. That is just for one fully utilized spaceport, and we plan to keep going. With 2 fully utilized spaceports, we expect to be able to generate over $1 billion of adjusted EBITDA annually. These economies of scale are expected to continue as we expand into additional spaceports globally. With that, I'll turn the call back over to Michael.
Closing on page 13. Here's an image of our first ship having its livery installed. Livery and window transparencies are some of the last steps before integrated vehicle ground testing, and it's exciting to see this ship getting ready for the next stage. We're thrilled with the market response to our latest tranche of spaceflight expedition bookings, and we're pleased with the progress we are making on all our ships. We will incur some added expense in Q3 and Q4 as we absorb the added time to our schedule, but the added efforts will help us maintain delivery of quarterly positive cash flow within 2027. Our astronaut community is growing and very engaged. Today, we had a group of them together in Mallorca to see the eclipse, and we have exclusive activities planned as they prepare for their upcoming space flights, which are soon on the horizon. Let's open the call for questions.
Okay, we'll discuss this at the end. I'm looking at taking a position.
Thank you. We will now begin the question and answer session. If you have dialed in and would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad to raise your hand and join the queue. If you would like to withdraw your question, simply press star 1 again. If you are called upon to ask your question,
should I buy? Should my team buy? What do you think?
Please pick up your handset to ensure that your phone is not on mute when asking your question. Again, press star 1 to join the queue. And our first question comes from the line of Oliver Chen with TD Cowen. Your line is open.
Hi, Michael and Doug. This is Julia Shalansky on for Oliver Chen. We have 2 questions for you this afternoon. First, regarding the commercial launch timeline shift, Can you help us distinguish between timing and scope? Has any material work been added since the 1Q update, or is this primarily a de-risking decision to increase confidence in the flight test and the commercialization schedule? And second, on demand durability, you've now had 2 consecutive tranches sell out ahead of schedule at very high prices. Do you see any natural ceiling to that demand curve, and how are you thinking about pricing going into the next fall release? Thank you.
Hey, Julie. Excuse me. Hi, Julie. It's Michael. Let's see. Timeline, you asked the question on scope. Let me answer it this way and see if it addresses what you're asking. Generally, same scope, same work, same expectations in finishing the installation of all of our avionics and mechanical systems. And the work, which is literally hundreds of reasonably short tasks. And a lot of those tasks have taken us longer to complete than we had allotted in our estimates and schedule forecast. And what are those things? It's not that it's a new scope per se. We put a picture in the deck. You'll look at kind of where the pilots would be sitting. There's a panel that's not installed, so you can see kind of the degree of wires and cables and connectors that are involved. And a lot of these examples are taking the 3D designs, taking all the parts in the kit that need to go in. One of our technicians, who are massively capable, does the work. And as they kind of put one wire harness in and another wire harness in and metal tubes for our pneumatic systems in, some of it starts to, the whole, I'll call it height of those things going on top of each other may end up to be a few thousandths of an inch taller or shorter sometimes than our design had expected. Sometimes that's not an issue. Sometimes that starts to get to a place where we have a requirement that we'll go and confirm through engineering analysis whether that needs to be adjusted or not. And whenever that happens, there's a whole process for it. Our quality inspectors look at every installation we do. They get the quality engineers. The quality engineers go find further engineers for assessment if necessary. It all happens pretty quickly, but the number of those kind of, we didn't expect this to not fit just perfectly coming in is higher than we had allotted for. And so that just has started to accumulate on us. It really picked up at the tail end of July. And for a bit, we thought we could manage that in, but the team just needed more time to do it the correct way. So what we've done is we've flowed the time needed out so that we can finish the task correctly and do it the right way. And when you add that up, it means we will start our integrated vehicle ground test program almost a couple months later than we had assumed, and we've flowed that through our schedule. So happy to give you more examples of what it is, but it's a collection of small items, each of which have taken longer than expected. And the kind of summary of all those, adding up all those extra durations is added to our time. So no different scope. We expect to wrap all this phase up later this month. We'll start our integrated vehicle ground testing efforts through there. We've done power on in our ship. And so we'll continue to be testing both the power and connecting everything is the correct way, and all the mechanical systems are operating in the functions we like. And then we plan to send the ship out to New Mexico in October to begin our flight test program, and that will carry on just the way we thought before. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight into what's behind the push. I think more excitingly is what's behind getting closer to the finish line on this build and to the start of actually carrying our astronauts to space. So shifting to your demand question, yes, we expected to close this first tranche of bookings about the time of our flight test, so not this early. We were getting near the end, and we sent the people that we were in conversation with still a note that we were going to close the booking. A number of those came in, and we were oversubscribed by a reasonable amount, and that's great. And so we've closed this price point as we said we would do, and we're going to focus on bringing all these people into our astronaut community and making sure they are prepared for the journey ahead of them. We expect this fall we will reopen our booking opportunities. It will be at a higher price point. And so you asked for some perspective on that. We're really the only people that will be carrying humans to space beyond if you want to kind of do a $50+ million orbital flight, which are very few in capacity and very expensive. The real comparison was probably what the Blue Origin folks were flying. They never published their prices. Anecdotally, I think people were probably in $1 to $2 million range. So, there's demand, I think, for them at probably average that out to $1.5 million. I don't think we need to be driving our prices up that quickly, but there is strong and solid demand, and we do expect each time we release a tranche of tickets, it will be priced higher than the tranche before, and that's appropriate. So I think you'll see us do that for a little bit longer.
Thank you. Very helpful. Best regards.
Thanks, Julia.
Our next question comes from the line of Michael Leshock with KeyBanc Capital Markets. Your line is open.
Hey, good afternoon. I wanted to start with the rocket production starting in 4Q. Just given that it's the same propulsion that was used on Unity, will there be additional labor needed to start that back up, or did the propulsion team shift to other areas for these new spaceships in development, and are they going to be moving back to propulsion? And then maybe secondly, how long does it take to produce one rocket motor?
Thanks, Mike. The team we have in Arizona are multitask capable. So right now they are finishing up the systems installation. You see a picture at the end of our deck, finishing up livery installation, and we'll move the ship into the integrated ground, I can't even say it, IVGT, integrated vehicle ground test. When we do that, a lot of the technicians that we have in Phoenix will pivot back over, finish out the static test ship, and when that is shipped out, we will then have all the parts coming in for our second production spaceship, and they will build that. And as we get ready to finish that and ship that send the second ship out for testing and off to New Mexico, then the majority of that team will shift over into the rocket production area. So we do not expect a big ramp up of labor for that. Most of the labor is currently there in Phoenix, and we will move people from one set of tasks to the other as we go. The pace we can do rockets is, with this new production line, quite rapid. We'll be testing out and ramping initially up to about a 3-motor-a-week capability, just to kind of keep up with the flight rate of our first 2 ships. The line itself and the equipment is built to handle more than that. And we can handle more of it with both adding extra shifts. So what I gave you is kind of a single shift, across a week duration. So we could always add extra shifts. And there are only a couple, I'll call it equipment bottlenecks in that line, that when we're ready to have an expanded fleet at Spaceport America or a second spaceport, we can ramp the same infrastructure, this production line, to handle all of that. So probably closer to 15 motors a week when we're ready to go. We can also use that capacity for other things with rocket motors, but right now we're really focused on just supplying the fleet of spaceships that we'll be flying.
And then on the cash position, do you see the need to raise additional capital to get to that positive cash generation in 2027? I appreciate the color on the quarterly guide, but is there any reason we should expect a big, step down in burn in early 27, or just any way we should think about 2027's cadence once commercial flights resume? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. This is Doug. So we don't need to raise anything right now. We don't need additional capital at the moment. What we highlighted was what we already did with our at-the-market program. We raised $134 million. during the quarter, so we have more cash at the end of the quarter than what we started with. We also managed our debt payments and created the time, to get ramped on commercial service so we can time our operating cash flows with those debt payments. So as we get into kind of the near term, when we get into the start of commercial service in Q1, that's when we start to see inflows coming from the customers. So we timed that for February of 2027. So with that, we get the remainder of the expedition price from the astronauts, and we actually start collecting ahead of some of the future flights. We start to get these inflows, and that changes the whole cash flow dynamics as we go forward. So we're getting down to kind of our cost base now as we finish up the. I gave you the guidance towards the end of the year, but we get to our kind of cost base as we exit because we're done with the manufacturing. We're just moving into the operating stage. But Q1 is that point when it crosses over and the inflows change. So there, with that said, there will be a time when we want to drive faster growth, and that's when it would make sense, probably to add some capital. We can, add more vehicles more quickly, expand the fleet, and that's why we spent some time highlighting these great unit economics for these spaceships. You can tie any future capital raises to some very attractive ROIs on additional assets that can be added more quickly with that capital. So, again, there'll come a time and we'll tie it to growth drivers, and the rationale will be great for shareholders, in our opinion. But nothing to do today with the capital raise.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
Next question comes from the line of Sheila Kahyaoglu with Jefferies. Your line is open.
Hi, everyone. This is Kira Perry on for Sheila. Thank you so much for taking my question. On a similar note, I was wondering if you could frame how we should think about the trajectory for CapEx from the third quarter into 2027 based on the updated flight schedule. Thank you.
So CapEx in particular is coming down significantly because what's driving that is the build of the spaceship. So as we're wrapping that up, we've done the heavy lifting, right, which was included the tooling and then all the parts fabrication and then all of the labor and everything that goes into the assembly of the ship. That's all CapEx. But that's moving along, and with the first vehicle headed into ground tests and then the second vehicle coming pretty close behind, you see we expect CapEx to be coming down quite a bit by the fourth quarter and quite a bit more in 2027 because it's just not a CapEx-driven cost structure at that point. Now we're moving into more OpEx for the commercial space flight. So it's a shift. So you'll see a continued drop in CapEx, after we get by the fourth quarter.
Thank you so much.
Next question comes from the line of Miles Walton with Wolfe Research. Your line is open.
Hey, everyone. It's Emily on for Miles. How are you? I have a good to connect. I just had a question on VMS Eve. Given it's the solo mothership for now, what is the current flight cycle or maintenance schedule that you're looking at for that? And are there any structural limitations on that ship as the Delta flight testing begins?
So I'll talk on flight schedule. So we have a very detailed maintenance program on Eve, like you would see with most airplanes. And they're flight by, kind of flight interval inspections. So some things are done on an every flight basis, some a 3-flight basis, some 5, 7, 10, 30, things like that. And when you carry that across the course of a year, we've stated on these calls publicly that we expect Eve to be flying on a 3 times per week cadence. Our maintenance schedules allow us to go at greater rates than 3. just based upon how the stacking of the maintenance tasks are and how long they take to do. We're holding our kind of stated efforts at 3 times per week. We think that's appropriate right now until we're into it. But the maintenance schedule would suggest we can go more frequently than that. The way you asked the question was, are there structural limitations on Eve related to the Delta ships? So there are parameters on all of our ships that we don't exceed. How much weight can they carry? What are landing rates, sink rates that we have in tolerance, things like that. But nothing is different with our Delta ships than with our Unity ship or in plan. So Eve is an incredibly capable launch vehicle for these new ships that are coming off the line. And it's going to be a workhorse of a launch vehicle for us. And it's been adapted and upgraded over the last couple of years to do that. So we're very excited for that ship.
Thanks. And one quick follow-up on that. Do you have a parameter for the CapEx commitment or timeline for procuring and building the next mothership, or is that sort of paused at the moment until Delta gets into its operating cadence?
Not paused, but definitely the next launch vehicle is moving more slowly as we are putting all of our attention to finishing up the first spaceship, which is right around the corner. So as we finish that up, we will pivot that team back to the launch vehicle and move through both engineering, and then as we get into deciding the full supply chain details, that'll give us more clarity around the total CapEx. So we have our internal estimates for that, and we think they're pretty solid and reasonable, but we haven't shared those out at this stage. So next stage with our launch vehicle is to have the engineers come off our ship and really lean into the launch vehicle design. And then we'll start having kind of alternating production between spaceships. We'll build a launch vehicle. We'll probably build a couple of spaceships. We'll match with another launch vehicle and grow the fleet in a balanced fashion like that.
Great. Thanks for the color.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Our next question comes from the line of Kristine Liwag with Morgan Stanley. Your line is open. Ms. Christine, your line is now open.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Apologies for being on mute there. So I wanted to follow up on the economies of scale that you had laid out, right, for the initial fleet of 2 spaceships in operation, 1 in launch vehicles, so you get to the adjusted EBITDA potentially at that run rate at 90 to 115 million. I wanted to understand, with that kind of EBITDA, what were the milestone payments already received? And so if that were to materialize, how should we think about the cash conversion of that EBITDA and operating cash, so taking away any potential impact of CapEx, just so that we understand that run rate and how you get to a positive free cash flow path?
Forgive me, just your phone got a little muffled there. So we got you through economies of scale and kind of repeating how we got to 90 to 115 million. Would you mind repeating the question again, maybe just close to the microphone?
Yes. So if you could hear me now.
Okay.
So my question is, you've received deposits from customers in the past, and then now with that EBITDA for that run rate, I was wondering what would be the operating cash conversion off of that EBITDA, considering deposits you've already received in the past. And, this is on operating cash, so no CapEx. So just understanding what the free cash flow run rate could be off of that EBITDA.
Okay. Yes, Christine, good question. So what we do see building into this is actually we're collecting cash ahead of this because the flights, we're getting cash for flights that are in the future. So we actually have a little better free cash flow ahead of the EBITDA as we ramp into this. As we go forward, though, it depends where we're at in the life cycle of future vehicle development, right? How much we're putting into CapEx at any one time. But what this model reflects is that we have quite a bit of R&D going into vehicle development, and there will be some, conversion over to CapEx as we move through the development. But what we're seeing is very high conversion ratios. So the cash conversion relative to EBITDA is very close. So the CapEx, it never becomes too high until we get out to about, let's call it 2029, when you're getting into the final, or the bigger lift on a launch vehicle development, where you're getting into the assembly and so on with the vendors. So there's kind of a period there where we see a little more CapEx going on. But in terms of your overall modeling, it's a very high conversion ratio between the EBITDA and the CapEx.
And did we
Great, super
cover your
helpful. And then following up on that, when you look at the growth that you could get with more flights, you're going to need more spacecraft. And you talked about the $60 million spend per incremental spacecraft. So first question on that, is that $60 million number the run rate that you would pay for spacecraft number 3 and 4? Or is that a more mature production down the line? And then the second question I have regarding that growth is, how do you intend to balance growing EBITDA, which then requires investment in CapEx, versus generating more free cash flow and stability for the balance sheet?
Yes.
On the first question, Christine, yeah, that's what we're seeing for a spaceship cost going forward. So that's not like down the road. That's Delta 3 and 4 kind of timeline based on our recent experience, because we've already built a couple. We've closely measured the cost, for the parts and the labor and all the components, and so that's what we've dialed in. And it turned out that our earlier estimates were quite accurate in that regard. So that's not far down the road. That's near term, as soon as we start to get back into building additional spaceships. And then if you could, please repeat the second question one more time, Christine. Thank you.
Yes, and apologies for my connection. My second question is more about understanding the balance between growth, right? Because in order for your revenue to grow and be able to service more customers, you're going to have to buy more spacecraft, which then is a usage of cash. How do we balance growth versus stability in generating positive free cash flow to create more of a bolster for the balance sheet?
Yeah, I think the right way to think about this is why we've highlighted these amazing unit economics for these vehicles is the more we add, we rapidly expand the profitability, the revenue and the profitability that we can generate from them. And the payback periods on these is very short. If you look at a spaceship in particular, $60 million, it pays for itself in less than a year of flight time because of the returns we get from flying it, the high contribution margin. So, it's always going to make sense, right, to expand and put that cash back into the business and build more to meet demand, as long as there's always demand to fulfill those. So it's going to be very clear that we should be growing at the fastest rate we can in terms of adding vehicles.
And I think just the way you asked the question, it's a bit of a both and, right? The company needs to be solid, the balance sheet needs to be solid, and we'll need to keep it in that place. We'll need to continue to demonstrate a backlog of demand that's very strong and growing. One of the things we are obviously very, very encouraged by today in today's announcement is closing our first tranche out early, even in advance of when we're flying. So that, and in addition to just the timing of it, I'd say the broadening of categories of people within the demand we had. So, what are the things we want to do to not just bolster the balance sheet, but just bolster confidence in the business model? Ongoing book of business, amazing results from the astronauts that we're flying, so that you hear from the stories of them. Are they missionary for us? Are they out referring and recommending other people to us, which is already in place, but I think you'll see more of that. And then economically, we need to maintain a reasonable cash balance and manage, our growth in a strong fashion. We have, multiple options to do so, but those options are always stronger as we hit clear profitable operation. We hit the flight cadence that we expect to be hitting, and people see, oh my goodness, this is the solid business they've been telling us all the time. I think that opens up lots of doors to how to grow in a more rapid fashion.
Great, super helpful. Thank you.
There are no further questions at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's call. Thank you all for joining in. You may now disconnect.
Okay, the call's come to the end. I've been, as you can see, I've been very busy taking down the numbers, corresponding with those that can move this thing. So we're going to make some decisions now. I'm just finalizing. Now, as you know, as you expect, I'm not going to say and do it live on the show. We're going to do it together in our team on Discord right now. So I said to you, there wouldn't be a Discord show. There's not Discord events after earnings calls this late in the evening, but the call was a bit earlier and some decisions are being made. So we're going to go to Discord now and we're going to set up some trades. So we're going to buy, we're going to sell. What we're going to do, are we going to take some profit from SpaceX? We're going to discuss it now. So let me set up, if you want to tap the like button, consider subscribing to the channel. You've got a few seconds to join Discord. I think everyone here is on Discord anyway. The link has been all the way through, pinned to the top. I've been talking with different people all the way through the call, getting some sense of what we just heard. And I'm going to share my thoughts with you on Discord in a minute. I'm trying to get the link. There you go. Right. I'm definitely not going to share this for the world. This is for our investors on Discord. Right. So create an event. We wasn't going to do one, but we are now. Pro event. Next. Right. SPCE. I'll set it to start at 5, but we'll start straight away. We'll start straight away, okay? Let's go. Get rid of that. We did get some good information. We also got some disappointing information. You could see from the stock, people got excited about the CapEx. The dilution announcement, everybody jumped a bit too early and then it went straight back down again. So we're going to talk about that. We all know how Michael Colglazier talks and what he actually means and what he doesn't mean. Right, create event. Okay, I'm going to start straight away. It says in 10 minutes, but we're going to start straight away because it's a very simple call. And then you'll all be able to take your moves. Copy link. People are at work. Hey, hello. What happened there? Copy link. Right. Put it in upcoming events, announcements. There you go. Everyone. There we go. Oh, bloody hell. What am I doing? Edit. Live SPCE trading event. All right. Drop that in there. Drop that there. Publish. Right. Okay, I'm going to end this straight away. See you over on Discord in a minute. And let's have a conversation. Let's see if we can... Let's see if we can do something here. All right. Okay. You didn't hear the dilution. The dilution, when it popped up, is when no dilution. And then he said, well, maybe. But anyway, I'm not going to give too much away. Anyway, let's go over to Discord right now. Okay, folks, thank you very much indeed. Hope you all enjoyed it. We're now going to set up some trades and we're going to discuss our moves on Discord. Thank you for being here. We'll share much more tomorrow live on YouTube. But right now, behind closed doors, we do our events on Discord, YouTube Electrum, and of course our Instagram subscribers as well get lots of information. Right, that's it from me. Thank you very much indeed. See you over on Extra right now. Oh, sorry, everybody on Extra. It's going to take you to this. Yes, this is going to take you to a SpaceX video about today's news. So stay where you are. It'll automatically take you to all the evidence of what I told you that would happen to SpaceX today and share it all with you so you can understand where SpaceX is going tomorrow. It'll take you there directly at the end of this. I'll see everybody else on Discord, Electrum, and of course on Instagram. That's it from me. Take care of yourselves and each other. Here we go.